What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Niner Sickness, with the N.W.A podcast on a Friday night. We are back. I got my boy on the sidelines ready to come in, Mr. Florida Mike. Before I bring
What's
him
going
in,
on?
I just want to welcome everybody into the show. We apologize for not being on here last week. We are working through some things, but we are here tonight. It'll just be me and Mike. Mr. Boston Hater and E-Man will not be available tonight, but it's all good. It's all good, man. I just want to appreciate everybody for continued support here on the N.W.A. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and let all your friends and family know about our channel. With no further ado, let me bring the man of the hour, the guy that you guys are here today to really see, Mr. Florida Mike. What's up, brother?
What's good, babe? What's good, baby?
Gotta give you that great introduction, bro. How are
Man,
you and how's Florida? How's the weather, baby?
man, I was just in Miami, so my son got to meet Lamar Jackson.
Oh, really?
He did. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna try to show a quick picture. Yeah, he met Lamar Jackson and he won the championship all on his birthday.
Wow, good for him. What's up,
It was
Corey Davis?
it
Welcome
was
to the
Lamar
show.
Jackson's 707 first 707 camp ever, and my son won. There you go.
Hold on, real quick. Let's see if I can bring you full. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
That is sweet.
So he got the trophy, holding it right there with his team. It's
Congratulations,
probably
bro.
too late to see the trophy, but yeah, man, it's cool. So it's not every day a kid can meet Lamar Jackson on his birthday.
Talk about a birthday present, huh?
Yeah, on his birthday and won the championship, man, all in the same day. And he's 14 and he won in the 18 under league. So he played with older kids.
He's definitely was created for greatness, bro. He was created for
Oh, so
greatness. Everything is starting to reveal itself. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a destiny in this world, man. We are not made by accident. We all have our purpose. It's just finding our purpose and running with it. And your son is definitely heading in the right direction, bro.
man, appreciate it. I gotta give a big shout out, man. Condolences to my home birth country, Germany. If you don't know,
That's right.
there's a big, massive flood over there, and it kills people. And I actually know got a friend who has a brother that lives in that area, and keep him in your prayers, man. They can't find him. So I got that news today from my people in Germany, and we're praying for him. So and we got turmoil all over the world right now, man. Cuba going through their thing. I was in Miami witnessing the protests, and Haiti president getting killed. So it's just so much going on in the world, and there's some Mother Nature events going on in the USA from what I just heard like an hour ago. I don't watch the news, but I keep in touch and tapped into certain things. So but man, it's crazy. So representing the homeland, hometown team, always, but especially when there's a catastrophic event. So big shout out to and much love and condolences to all those who lost their lives in Germany, man. My heart is with you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's always devastating when you hear situations like this, floods, fires, whatever the case may be, and there's loss of life. It's always a tragic, and families are always scarred. Families are always changed due to events like this. So all we can do, man, is just keep them in lives that way to Germany and pray that the damage is not as great as it is already. So my heart go out those that already lost loved ones, and just pray that they continue to get better. The situation gets better, man. Sorry to hear that about your homeland.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Um, yeah, so going back to the San Francisco 49ers, man, you know, I'll open it up with this. I know it's going to be a hot thing about Richard Sherman. Everybody's talking about that hot out the press. I don't personally know all the details. I actually just heard about some of it yesterday. But Well, actually, a couple days ago, E-Man mentioned it to me, but I didn't really look into the details, so I don't know much about it. But what I do know is I always wait till the facts come out. His character, man, this is the thing about life. When someone has displayed positive character for their whole entire career, and then they have a hiccup, even if he's more right now, from what I'm hearing, it looks like he's not in the right at all. But this is what's tripping me about society. Everybody who praised Richard Sherman, all of a sudden, one event makes all he did for the communities, the kids, goes down. I
Correct.
hear very few people in society actually have compassion and empathy to say what drove him to this point, to where he wanted to kill himself. Like there's something going on lingering that we didn't even know, and how long we don't know. This could be some. He could have had some unresolved issues that he never dealt with, and now that is coming to the spotlight. It's amazing how some people in society are so quick to just condemn, judge, and bash people. Hey, the funny thing is, if your life was in the spotlight in the camera, let's see how well you do with the attention and publicity every single day. I bet many of you people have a lot of skeletons in your closet that you don't want the world to know about. This is why you do it in secret.
Absolutely.
So I'm not, I don't know all the details. I mean, I'm sure there's more information going to come out. I haven't personally heard from him, but at the end of the day, man, I really hope whatever he's going through gets resolved, because he appears so far, for the majority of his career, to be a civilized, intelligent human being. And for him to go on the edge to that extent, man, something must have triggered him a lot. So I actually pray for him to get better, man. I do.
Yeah. To your point, Flora Mike, is this: we don't know the situation that is taking place with Richard Sherman. All we can do as those that is pray for him, pray for his situation, pray for his family. Listen, he has a track record, like you said. He's been a great citizen. He's been a great example to the youngsters on the football field, off the football field, and everyone has a breaking point. Everyone, it's called life. It's called dealing with difficult circumstances that may occur. We don't know what happened that could have set him off to this point. It's easy for a lot of us to judge. It's easy for a lot of us to say, "Wow, see this and see that," but unless you walk in a man's shoes, it's we shouldn't judge, because we don't know what set him off. We don't know what occurred. Somebody could have died. So we don't know. All we can do is show support and prayer towards him and his family, and whether things play out or not, I'm gonna just be blunt. It's none of our business. It really isn't, because
Right
we
on.
we, we have our own issues, and we
Right.
have our own problems with marriage, and we have our own problems with kids and whatever. But the difference is when you're not an athlete like him, if you're not popular like him, nobody really pays attention to your life or my life. But because he's Richard Sherman, he's under the microscope, and whenever he makes a mistake, even as severe as it was, people want to right away proclaim this and proclaim that, and accuse him of this and accuse him of that. Listen, he without sin cast the first stone. Nobody can cast. You know what? Throw those rocks away, man, because we all sin and fall short, and we all make our mistakes. So let's, my mom always taught me, if you have nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. So my prayers are for him and for his family, man, and I just pray that everything works out for him and his family, brother.
I think you were told right. Not say anything if it's not positive. However, I will say for me, unless it's about the Dallas Cowboys, you have every right to be negative as you like.
Well, that's an
So
exception.
I'm sure Tom would agree with me, right, brother? I don't know if brother Tom's on here, but I'm sure he would. But yeah, it's crazy, man. So I don't know all the details. Like I said, I'm pretty sure as time goes on, when details emerge, we'll know more. But until then, I always reserve judgment on anything. I like to listen and seek understanding before speaking. I think that's the sign of true wisdom, when you learn the reality and the facts of everything in all aspects, all sides. If you haven't even heard from the source, then your opinion is only biased because you don't even know where he's coming from, what his side was.
Yeah, and the truth be told, even when things, this is just from my personal opinion, even if things come out later on, who am I to judge? Who am I to judge him? I'm not his creator. I did not, bring him to life. So, um, we all are entitled to our opinions of whatever we think is right and wrong based on what we hear. But at the end of the day, man, everybody, the only person we can judge is our own character, nobody else's. And whether you support them or you don't, but leave the judgment for someone greater than yourself, man, because whenever you point a finger, you have three fingers pointed right back at you, man. So that's my theory on the Richard Sherman thing, Florida Mike, man. It's onto a better notes, man. Hey, uh, training camp is almost here. The players report on the 27th. Training camp doesn't start until the 29th. Uh, I'm excited. I know that a lot of you are not big into training camp, not big preseason fans. You guys like the real game, and that's all good. But personally, myself, with the addition of Trey Lance and all these youngsters that we have, I'm looking forward to see the battle at the quarterback position, the battle at the what is that noise?
That's my watcher.
Oh, okay. The battle of the offensive line, the battle of the who's going to be the third receiver for the 49ers. There's so many things that are going to work out once training camp starts. So I'm excited for training camp, brother. What about you, Mike?
Like I said, I don't have a problem with the training camp and preseason in terms of um, people enjoying those events. My thing is when people take a performance and condemn or highly praise a player when they have yet to do such on the field. Like, what was it, a couple years ago, Jimmy Garoppolo. I didn't watch no preseason games, but can't help but hear about it when you're on shows like this and you see people put in the chats and all that. People were going in saying Garoppolo this, Garoppolo that. Well, we went to the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if his preseason was bad and if his indication is a bad preseason, great 13-3 year, I'll take a bad preseason every year. No problem. So it goes back to what we've talked about on the show in the past about the Browns being 4-0 in preseason, going 0-16 in the season. So preseason, I don't mind the excitement from seeing these other guys, even if they're competing against second string other guys. Trey Lance comes out there, let's say he balls out, he looks great. I don't mind the excitement because who's not excited? I mean, hey, I'm wearing his jersey as we speak. You know what I'm saying? So trade to the Bay. But at the end of the day, I think we got to be honest with ourselves and say, hey, man, don't put too much stock into something until they consistently do it in the season. But if you want to get excited about the just watching it, I don't think that's bad with that at all. I think most people like preseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, to your point, preseason, at least for the fan base, it shouldn't be measured how good or how bad your team as a whole is going to be based on what you see in preseason. If you're a fan and you're excited about certain players, take it for what it is. It's just preseason, but enjoy that individual you follow. Enjoy that player you like. Let's see how he does, how his footwork is, how his throwing motion is, or how his catching ability is, or blocking, whatever that particular player you're enjoying to watch does. Take it for what it is. Don't presume because he's doing great in preseason that he's going to be great in the regular season, or vice versa. If he's doing bad, like the situation with Jimmy, throwing all those interceptions and all this and that, and he had one of his best years in 2019. So enjoy it for the moment, like it, and enjoy what the player does, his development, how he's being developed, how is his throwing motion if it's a quarterback, how is his catching ability if he's a receiver, how is his blocking motion if he's a offensive line, his pass rush moves if he's a defender, whatever it is. But to sit there and say, we won all preseason games, we're going to be champions. Who was that team that won all four preseason games and the Browns, excuse me, and they didn't win one single game in the regular season. So just take it for what it is, man. It's preseason. It's televised practice, if you will. It's not the regular game, man. Save any type of true judgment or thoughts for the regular game. That's when they're playing against the pros. Welcome, Eric Davis, to the show. Excuse me, Eric Davis. Yeah, Eric Davis. Ooh. And Corey
The Davis
Davis.
brothers.
What it was is both Davis threw me off.
The
Corey
Davis
Davis and
bros.
Eric Davis came in.
Davis
So,
bros.
huh?
The Davis bros.
Yeah, the Davis Bros. Yeah. Eric says it free. Yeah, it's going to freeze, bro. It's just the internet. I think we're going to have to in the future. We're going to have to pre-record our shows and then post it an hour later. So we'll do that in the future. I wanted to give it a shot to see if it works, but if not, we'll just have to pre-record it and then shoot it up an hour after the show is recorded. But for tonight, we'll just roll with it. How you doing, Eric Davis? Good to see you, brother. So yeah, man. So I'm just excited to see what Trey Lance has to offer. I just want to see if there's any changes from college to preseason in the little time that he's been here. I want to hear the beat writers talk about him during training camp. How much is he progressing? Is he getting better? Is his accuracy getting better? And so forth. Those are the things that I want to watch out for. But I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I'm not expecting him to start. I'm not expecting him to beat out Jimmy G. Jimmy G, whatever he is, he's still a pro. He's an old pro. He's a pro. He's played regular season games. Trey hasn't. So, reserve your expectations of Trey. Give him an opportunity to grow. Give him the opportunity to get comfortable. Give him the opportunity to, feel himself in that offense before all the heat will come upon him being that third overall. The fans sometimes can be the worst bringing heat on a coach and a player because they want to see a player play as soon as they can. Give them the opportunity to develop, man. We'll get our chance, and when we do, we'll enjoy it.
Absolutely, man. I think a lot of people, man, when they're fans of the game, their passion speaks more than substance. You had fans from any fan base. It ain't just San Francisco. We as 49er fans always focus on our guys, but you got every fan base, man, have a group of people, man, that just say the most outlandish stuff. And I think the problem with fans in general is majority of them listen to talking heads that don't watch every team. Like, how many of these experts that are so-called experts sit here and watch your team like you do as a fan? They don't. They might watch big games they play or playoffs or meaningful games, but they don't watch every single game, especially if you're playing a team that's under 500 or with a losing record. With a losing record. So, I mean, we watch every game as Niner fans, Niner faithful. We actually watch every play, every game, majority of us. So when we critique our team if you listen to somebody who don't watch talking heads and listen to somebody who does, you'll hear two different outlooks on your team. Because most people that watch talking heads are not thinking for themselves. They'll listen to the so-called experts. And these so-called experts can sway you and make you think a certain way about your team. Look at the fact that people said that we was going to get old boy from Alabama, the quarterback.
Oh, Mac Jones.
Yeah. A lot of Niner fans, man, a ton of Niner fans was worried about that.
Yeah.
And none of them, they disregarded what Kyle Shanahan actually said. Now, prior to Kyle Shanahan coming out saying the things he said, I can understand someone worried about him getting a Matt Ryan type of QB. I could understand that based on his actions, right? Despite him not picking quarterbacks because he was an offensive coordinator, he inherited 90% of his quarterbacks. But he praised, for me, it was when he started praising Kirk Cousins so much. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, well, he had a chance to get Deshaun Watson. He praised Kirk Cousins so much, and he didn't get neither one and had to go with Garoppolo. At that time, I even thought that he was going to get a quarterback similar to Garoppolo. But when he came out before the draft and said, I want a guy who can improvise, that changed my mind. And I said, okay, he's going to be open to a mobile quarterback now because he said it. And then at the end of the day, talking heads took over. Their voices were heard way more than Shanahan. You didn't hear a damn thing about Mac Jones for months until like the month before the draft. And all of a sudden, I mean, you have it. These same talking heads, the year we went to the Super Bowl, said that we were going to be 3-13. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
3-13, and we went 13-3.
I remember that very
So
clearly.
I don't
Yeah.
even need to watch talking heads because the fans talk about what they talk about so much, and then they reiterate what they say and don't watch the game or think for themselves. So I can understand, Brother Beto, why you're excited about, you know, seeing Trey Lance, you know, as far as his potential and the talent, the different type of talent he has in Garoppolo to be able to extend plays. We haven't had that since Colin Kaepernick. So that's going to be interesting to see. And if he lives up to the potential hype he has, man, he could be around for a long time doing big things in San Francisco. Big things.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask you guys this. In the back of everyone's head, we're all happy with Trey Lance, majority of us. But do you think, are there people out there that wonder, that we wish we would have had Justin Fields? You know, is there a separation between Fields and Lance in this system? Do most people feel like Fields is better short term, Lance has potential to be better long term. But is Justin Fields the type of guy that most people would have rather had like a 1A, 1B scenario? Or is the fans really happy? And I'm talking about the fans on our show. Are you guys happy that we got Trey Lance and not Justin Fields? I just want to hear from you guys. I've always wondered that because a lot of us were so excited that we got Trey Lance because many people, again, were drinking the Kool-Aid as Mac Jones hype that had no steam with me. I wasn't worried about it. But because they were so relieved to not hear Mac Jones' name, I think people just love Trey Lance. But the reality is, if you knew like I knew, because I listened to Kyle Shanahan, not the Talking Heads, you would have known it was going to be either Trey Lance or Justin Fields once old boy went to the Jets. So
Zach Wilson. Yeah.
yeah, Wilson. So once the Jets pick Wilson, are you happy that we got Trey Lance and not Justin Fields? I want to know what our fans think in the comments.
Yeah, that's a good question. As we wait for the fan base to respond, first of all, welcome Tom. Tom, welcome to the chat. Javier Rios, welcome to the chat. Welcome, guys. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. The weekend is here. For me, as you already know, we're waiting for the fans to share their opinion on the answer to your question. But for me, it's always been Trey Lance. You know this. Did I get worried about Mac Jones? Yes. Did I get caught up in the hype that maybe we're going to draft him? Yes. Guilty as sin. But I was a Trey Lance and have been a Trey Lance supporter from day one. Those that know me knew that. Now, Justin Fields is a great quarterback as well. The whole Ohio State stigma of the no good quarterbacks come from there. To me personally, that's a bunch of crap. You can't. Every individual player is gifted within their own right. You can't judge a school based on the quarterbacks that are there. You got some bad quarterbacks and you got some good ones. So this whole stigma that Fields is not going to be good because of the college that he came from, that just to me is ridiculous. I think he's going to have a great career. I think he fell into a perfect spot with Coach Nagy and the Bears. I think they're going to utilize him. They're good. So I think he fell in a good place there. I pretty much, 3 quarterbacks fell in really good situations. Trey Lance with the 49ers, Fields with the Bears, and Jones with the Patriots. Let's be real. The 2 quarterbacks that did not fall into good places has to be Lawrence with the Jags and Wilson with the Jets. Unfortunately, those teams have nothing, no support around them, no receivers, no offensive line, no defense. So they're going to those two quarterbacks, in my opinion, are going to struggle a little bit more than the three that I mentioned that fell into better situations. But not being biased, not being just because I'm a Niner fan, but I honestly believe that Trey Lance fell into the best situation. A lot of people, like your question is, who's better or who would they rather have, Fields or Trey? I think any of those two quarterbacks is going to flourish in Kyle Shanahan's offense. We just happen to take Lance, so we're going to support Lance. But I think either one of those quarterbacks would have been great. It would have been great in Kyle Shanahan's offense. But let's see what the guys in the comments answers are to your question. Um, Eric Davis says you already know
I
where
don't
I
know where you
stand. He
stand,
likes
E man. I need to know where you stand, E man. I don't know where you
he
stand. I
likes
don't hear you.
Fields. He likes Fields.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought you liked Lance.
no he likes Fields.
Yeah.
I believe he wanted Fields. He likes Fields, but he's definitely supporting Lance. Obviously, he's on the team.
Yeah, and same here. And I told you my reason for wanting Fields only because I was more familiar with him. It's not that I necessarily thought he was better than Trey Lance. I just didn't know about Trey Lance at the time, and I still don't really know enough about him. But I know more now than I did prior to the draft. So, but at the end of the day, I like Trey Lance. I really like him a lot. I see what E-Man was saying that he thought we would trade to get one of the bigger name established quarterbacks like Watson, Rodgers. Yeah, I mean that there was possibility and talks of that, but I just wonder because we gave up too much to get to the number 3 pick, how much more will we had to give up? I see Tom type that in just now, so that's how I feel. Like how much capital will we have to give up more to acquire that type of quarterback? Because that's not going to be a cheap feature.
Yeah, I don't know about Rodgers, but I know from what I heard in the interview with Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay and I forgot the other guy's name, Struder, on their podcast, Shan said that he wanted Matthew Stafford, and I mean that shouldn't surprise anybody. Matthew Stafford's a good quarterback. He's just been in a bad situation in Detroit, but he's a good quarterback. But he is up there in age, and he signed with the Rams. We know that. That's already history. So the Niners had to make a decision. They wanted Deshaun Watson, but the whole legal situation with Deshaun probably put a stop at that. The Niners knew that Jimmy G is a good quarterback, but it's no news to us that he gets hurt and they can't rely on him. So they had to make a decision to improve the quarterback room. And Deshaun Watson wasn't an option anymore. Matthew Stafford signed with the Rams. Rodgers is in limbo. We don't know what's going on over there. And the Niners had to make a decision. So they went ahead, moved from number 12 to number 3, gave up 2 number 1s and a 3 to attempt to get that franchise quarterback of the future. Now, I'm pretty sure they evaluated Lance, Fields, and Mac Jones to the best of their ability with that time frame they had before draft day. And based on what they saw, based on what they looked at, they felt, and when I say they, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan felt that Trey Lance, even though he has the lower floor right now than Fields and Jones, that he may have the higher ceiling going forward. And because we're in a situation where we have Jimmy G and we can start Jimmy G, we have the benefit of bringing in a young man like Lance and allow him to learn, allow him to build his mechanics, allow him to train his ways to get better. And we have that opportunity, as the Bears really don't. Wilson with the Jets really don't have that. He has to start right away. Trevor Lawrence has to start right away. So the Niners were in a unique situation, Florida Mike, to be able to get a young prospect like Lance, knowing that we have Jimmy G on the roster and giving us the opportunity to develop Lance while we win games with Jimmy.
Absolutely. I mean, my biggest thing was once the Jets took Zach Wilson, I was like, at first, I was like, there might be a possibility where the Jets do something different because the draft is so unpredictable. You hear a lot of talks and they go another direction sometimes. That's happened. I was like, are the Jets going to get Fields and now we get Zach Wilson? That's what I was thinking as far as a possible scenario. But I was never worried about Mac Jones. And I got proof that I was never worried about Mac Jones because I'll show you why I actually
No, I
posted.
agree. You mentioned
Yeah,
it to us in the back of the house that
yeah.
you were not concerned. You were in I don't
Not at
think
all.
Erica wasn't either, but you and the Boston hater were sure not worried
I was
about Mac Jones.
114% confident we won't get that dude.
I agree.
So but I don't watch Talking Head, so don't bother me what they say. But you know, I think what's going to be interesting for me is Trey Lance. Obviously, is the quarterback. Everybody's going to be paying attention to. But I'm interested in the running backs.
Yeah, me too.
I'm interested in the other Trey Sermon. I like him. I think he's going to be a really special player for us. I mean, Cam Akers from Florida State that went to the Rams, he had a pretty good year. You know, he had a good impact, in my opinion, when he played. I'm thinking Sermon can come out there and have an impact for our team. Um, to be at least contribute to our team this year. That's what I'm really thinking. But
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah, I like that too. I like that the direction the 49ers are going in with the running game. I mean, Kyle Shanahan has been on record to say he wants to run the game 500 times. So whether he'll do that or not, we'll have to wait and see. But they brought in Alex Mack to control that center position in the offensive line, one of the weakest positions that we had last year. They drafted in the second round Aaron Banks out of Notre Dame to be put in the right guard position next to Mike McClinchy. So they elevated that offensive line. It got better. And then they went ahead and not only drafted Trey Sermon in the third round, but they traded up into the third round because they still had the other third round pick that they used on another player, but they traded into the third round to take Trey Sermon out of Ohio State because there's something that Kyle Shanahan liked about him. So I'm excited to see what he can do in our offense. And I'm also really excited that we took the kid from Louisiana, Elijah Mitchell. He is more. He reminds me a lot of Raheem Mostert, and the way Raheem Mostert plays is Elijah Mitchell. So, are these two of the potential replacements of Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr.? Maybe we'll have to wait and see. But I also like that we brought in Florida Mike. That we brought in Wayne Gallman as a free agent running back from New York. This
Right.
kid, he's not the greatest running back, but I think he held his own when he had to come in and replace Barkley when Barkley went down with injury. I believe he had like 6 touchdowns, 600 something yards that last year. So he'll be definitely a good goal line back for us. So I cannot wait to see our backfield how it does, especially with that upgraded offensive line, brother.
Yeah, and like you always said, man, Trey Lance is coming to a great situation, best of the best, probably. So when they talk about rookie quarterbacks not having success their rookie year, well, naturally not a top three quarterback. We moved up to get him. So most rookies are going to teams that are rebuilding that suck. The Niners just had a lot of injury problems. Our roster doesn't suck when healthy. So for him to be picked at number three, selected number three, he's walking to a team removed from the Super Bowl in just a few years. So that's a good situation to be in because when you're healthy, if the Niners were healthy this past season, we probably would have been in a situation to get Trey Lance. We had
Correct.
to give up a lot of capital, more capital, probably if we were further down the board. But sure, I'm assuming we'd have been in the playoffs if we were healthy. So, I don't think we moved that far up to get Trey Lance, and that's how it goes. We had a bad record, so we're in a position to trade up to get Trey Lance, and we had to trade up, not because we're the third worst team in the league, but because we had to trade up to be the third worst team in the league to be in a position to get him.
Correct. The reason why we were at number 12 It wasn't because we were a bad roster or a bad team. It was because, unfortunately, injuries took a part of that. We had a lot of injured players, and because of the injuries that occurred to our roster, we didn't win that many games. And we had to rely on a quarterback like Nick Mullins that, he got exposed. I'm not saying he's bad, but he's not a starter. He's not even a 2 or 3 game backup. He got exposed, and now he's gone. But unfortunately, because of injuries, we ended up losing a lot of our games, and we ended up with the 12th spot. And the Niners went ahead and pulled the trigger to move from 12 to 3 to get that quarterback of the future. And a lot of people liked the idea. A lot of people didn't. They're like, man, we gave up 2 number 1s. But listen, when you have to go after a quarterback, you got to do what you got to do to get that franchise quarterback. And honestly, first rounds doesn't always plan out. Look at Solomon Thomas. We took him at 3, and he's already gone. So Eric Armstead is still on the bubble. We took him at 17 in the first round. So first rounders never always plan out. And the same thing can happen with Trey, but you got to take the risk, and you got to take the opportunity to move up if you see a quarterback that you like and that can possibly be the future of your organization.
Spot on. I agree.
So yeah, so the guys are commenting. What's up, Tom? Tom had a good question. I wanted to bring up Tom's question. Let's see if I can get back to it. I don't know where I seen it. This is a very, or not a question, but a statement. Only those dummies thinking we were overrated, that we are overrated, thought that we were going to get Jones. So basically saying that all the talking heads that thought we were going to take Mac Jones were certain that we were going to take Mac Jones, now are saying that our team is overrated. They were wrong once, they're going to be wrong again. So for that statement alone, Tom, is why we don't listen or care for what these talking say. It's all about ratings for them. It's all about getting the people engaged, whether the opposing team fans like what they say because they talk about the Niners, or the Niners get all heated because they're talking about their team. That's the reaction these talking heads want, man. So forget them. It's all about ratings. They don't care.
Yeah, I mean, just got to learn how to filter out stuff that's valid and not valid, man. When they start talking this crazy stuff, man, you got to learn how to filter that stuff out, or else you're going to be right there with them, wondering about our team, questioning our team and everything we do. And then the reality is we make right moves and you don't even appreciate it. So, yeah, man, I'm excited about the NFL season, though. And I think San Francisco, healthy-wise, we should be in the playoffs for sure. We should be having a playoff push this year.
Correct. And to Tom's point, if things work out with Lance and he is the quarterback that we think he will be, even this year with Jimmy, those 2 number 1s that we gave up, they're not going to be high picks. As long as we're healthy, they're going to be low picks in the lower 20s for sure. And if you can't even guarantee a high pick first rounder, what are the chances of getting a good late first round? It's a crapshoot. So hopefully things work out with Trey. He's coming in a great situation. We have a starting quarterback in Jimmy. We have a great offensive-minded coach in Kyle. They're definitely going to instill the right things into Trey. It's all up to Trey, how quickly he develops, how quickly he learns to work on his feet, on his mechanics, on his throwing motion, on his accuracy. All that's going to depend on Trey. But for what the things that I've heard of Trey from his family and friends and college, what I've seen in college, he's a smart kid. He learns quickly and he adapts quickly. So those are definitely positive things that he has going for himself. And under the tutelage of Kyle Shanahan, I expect Trey to be a great quarterback. And it's nice to have the quarterback now that instead of being 10 on 11, we can go 11 on 11, Mike. And now every defender has to be accounted for because we have that threat option of running the ball with Trey once Trey's back there. So I can't wait to see him play. Whenever his number is called, I'm going to support regardless who's back there. If Jimmy's back there, I'm supporting Jimmy. If Trey's back there, I'm going to support Trey, man. At the end of the day, they're both 49er quarterbacks, and you got to support them. At least I do. And that's what I'm going to do there, Mike.
Absolutely. And I like what you said about Gallman. That's your boy from Clemson.
Yes,
He's
sir.
certainly a running back that can come in and do some things better than an average guy who's in that same position that you don't even know who the hell they got him from. So that's cool. And we'll see where we're at. It's gonna be an interesting season. So we'll see where we're at.
Exactly. Eric made a point. Eric has a question. I don't know if Sherman's antics were worth talking about, but do you think that it closes the door on his NFL career, or does he play this year? Honestly, I think my personal. I'll let you answer after that, Mike. My personal. I think he has other things more concerning to worry about than playing this year. I think there's some things that he needs to work out with for himself that are more higher or more important than football, in my personal opinion. What's your thoughts on that, Mike?
Well, again, like I said before, it depends on what's all left to come out that'll dictate that. I mean, we don't know what's coming out yet. We don't know all the details yet. It's still stuff emerging, so it's kind of hard to really say if he's going to play next year, possibly, or if he's going to hang it up. We don't really know all the details. So I think he'll be back, but if it's something serious, more serious than what we're hearing, then you
Yeah,
know
we just have
that's
to let it
that's
play out, basically.
yeah, it's too early
To
to
let it
really
play
know.
out, and then we'll go from there, Eric, and all those that are concerned about that. But yeah, man, I like Goldman. I really do. I liked him when he played for the Tigers in the championship with your boy Deshaun Watson when they won that championship. He was a starting running back, and I think under the Kyle Shanahan's offense with that running, loving to run the ball, he's definitely going to be a benefactor on this team. I think this might be the team. Look at Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert was on, I believe, 6 teams before he made it to the Niners, and
Right.
he wasn't utilized properly, and he was going towards the west side, and now he came to the Niners, and he just became a new person. The problem with him, as with a lot of our players, unfortunately, is our injuries. Uh, Injuries that derail them is the reason why we brought in another quarterback, why we brought in other running backs. But when he's healthy, Raheem Mostert is a pretty good damn quarterback. I mean, running back, and it's going to be fun to watch him and Trey Sermon, Mike. The combination
Right.
of Raheem Mostert and
Two
Trey Sermon
trades.
going back and forth, man, running that rock, and then you throwing Goldman in there. It's going to be fun. We definitely we're going to have a three-headed monster back there, bro.
I'm excited about the possibility of two trades, man, like a play action and like
Yeah,
running bootleg and option, pitching it out to him, little stuff like that, or just get him in the pass reception game, seeing how he can catch out the backfield and make plays after the catch. But Trey Lance playing, I think it's really going to ultimately come down to Jimmy Garoppolo's health. If Garoppolo's healthy, Trey Lance might only see the field in garbage minutes. Garoppolo gets hurt, obviously Trey Lance plays. So it's all about Garoppolo's health.
well, what one of the things that I was talking to the Boston Hater yesterday on the phone, we were talking for a while, and he made a statement that is so true. A few of these games that we're playing against certain teams, there's a possibility that we're going to rack up some points, and our defense is going to contain their offense. So if we go into the fourth quarter up by 14 or 21 points, 3 touchdowns, Mike, I can see the possibility of taking out Jimmy and putting in Trey in there and let him face some live bullets, in a few games this year.
Absolutely. And I'll say this too, man, because I know we're getting ready to wrap up on the show. Uh, I'll say this. I think a lot of people just gotta be more optimistic this year. Yeah, we had a bad injury season last year, but hopefully that doesn't happen twice, which I think is highly unlikely. So I'm excited about this year and very optimistic, as we all should be. And can't wait to watch Lance go right in front of our eyes because I believe he's going to be our future stud.
Anyway, what happened, Mike? Did you lost?
Nah, my microphone's right here. I'm not touching it at all.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Mike.
So no, that was it. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think a lot of people are excited about Lance, obviously, rightfully so. You know, he's a quarterback, potential franchise guy, but there are a lot of people just already saying, "Hey, he can't play because he's a rookie," and don't put him in, don't put him in. But you know, it's like driving the car. If you don't ever drive on the highway, you're never going to learn how to keep up with the traffic. You're never going to learn how to adjust. So it's not saying put him in right away or throw him out there or whatever. It's just simply saying have this man prepared because we know, like everybody knows, Garoppolo's injury history is just not comfortable to rely on.
Yeah.
So for me, I would do everything I can to get him prepared in game situations like blowout games. Get him acclimated with playing in games that were up big. Let him get some reps. Just to get the feel for it. And then if Garoppolo goes down, week 6, week 7, week 8, he's already had 4 games on his belt. If we're blowing somebody out. That's better than nothing. So ideally you would want the perfect scenario, which is Garoppolo to do it the best he can, win a Super Bowl, and Lance to sit back and learn. And then we trade Garoppolo next year, get all this draft, some draft capital or some players or something, and then Lance takes over. That's what most people probably would want to see. Cut bait with the salary situation with Garoppolo and be able to re-sign other players that we value, like a Bosa and a Warner, right?
Yep.
But that has yet to be seen. We'll see. If Garoppolo could just stay healthy, that would be a win for us because we can present Lance next year. Garoppolo is good enough to win games, put us in the playoffs for sure. And, we'll get some draft capital for him. So I'm hoping Garoppolo has a great season this year because I want more draft capital to help Trey Lance in the future.
Absolutely. What's up, young hitter? Welcome to the show. Welcome, brother. Yeah, I hear you. The truth is, the better Jimmy plays. I'm a firm believer that Jimmy, whether he plays good or bad this year, he's not going to be here in 2022. It's going to be Trey Lance's offense to run. But if Jimmy plays good and he wins games, it's only going to just drive his draft value up. And like Mike said, the higher the draft pick we can get for Jimmy, we can use that to bring in other players to the roster to either help Trey or make the defense even better. So the better Jimmy plays, the more games we win, the further we go into the season, and we get rewarded with a higher draft pick. So it's all a win-win situation with Jimmy. So for those that don't care too much about Jimmy no more, those that lost their faith in Jimmy because of your frustration of the injuries, listen, one more year with Jimmy. So why not send him out with a bang? Why not root for him and wish him well so that we can win games, hopefully get far in the playoffs. And in the offseason, we'll trade him, get a great draft pick or more, and then move on from there. But with that said, Mike, we are definitely going to go ahead and shut this down. It's been a great show. I know we haven't been on here for a minute. Some things haven't taken place. Some of us have been caught up with what we call life, and we haven't been able to make the show. But we are here today, and we are going to continue to be here. As the season gets here, as the training camp and the season starts, we'll be able to do more shows. There'll be more to talk about for you guys. So hang in there. Continue to support the channel, the N.W.A. I want to thank Eric for being in the comments. I definitely want to thank Mike for being here with me tonight, and everyone that has come on the show. Tom, Young Hitter, and everyone that has commented today. Thank you for being part of the show. The Boston Hater, was not able to make it here. He let me know earlier. He has a great reason why he's not here tonight, and he'll be with us in future shows. Before we call it a night, Mike, is there any last words you want to share with the viewers?
No, man. Thank you guys for tuning in, and make sure you continue to check us out, spread the word about our YouTube channel, subscribe, hit that like. So thank you guys for rocking with us, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for watching again. Thank you for your support. Until our next show, God bless. Enjoy your weekend. And remember, stay faithful. Peace.